Transformations are slow. They take time. Everything good in life, basically. Let's just state that everything great and everything awesome in life takes time.
So the role of the coach here is to set realistic expectations for people and set process-based goals, basically setting somebody up for success. So the role of the coach is to constantly make sure that the trainee gets to know that there is progress. And this will have a snowball effect.
There is no 10 steps to success. There's an infinite number of steps to success, because everybody's success and definition of success in the first place is different. So the idea is that all of these factors being factors will never result in 10 concrete steps. But what's important is that a lot of us give up on who we could be just by dreading those 10 steps, right?
You're tuned into the Alpha Coach Podcast.
Each of us want to achieve so much in our lives. A few of us know where we want to go, so we take the necessary steps. A few of us don't know where we want to go, but we know the next step. Few I know who want everything but don't want to take any steps. So any permutation, any combination is absolutely fine, but there's just one rule. You've got to work for it. If you want it, and if you want it to work for you, you have to work for it. This is the Alpha Coach Podcast. My name is Glenn Saldana. I'm a radio host and a podcaster. We've got Ketan, the founder and CEO of Alpha Coach. What's up, buddy? How are you doing?
All good, man.
Absolutely awesome. We've got Vishnu, co-founder and chief product officer with us. What up?
All good, Claire.
It's so good to have you boys once again. In the previous episode, I remember speaking about structures. We spoke about so many structures and processes. I thought, why not start an episode and why not discuss with you guys about processes and outcomes? Process goals, outcome goals. And I personally feel, as individuals, I'm not going to speak for everybody, but I'll speak for myself and a few people I know. We're always interested in the outcome. Why do we work? For an outcome.
Of course.
So, tell me, what is your take on processes and outcomes?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think most people focus on the outcome. The outcome is very, 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 very important. It is the destination. It's exactly what you want. And
Grand finale.
It's exactly, the grand finale, what you're sort of working towards, right? But the work to get there is the process, which you rightly said. People forget about that. People get scared of actually putting in the work. So that's a very, very important part of the entire structure of the entire thing, because what happens is that the process is what actually leads you to that outcome. And if you're able to do the process, which is in your own control, then the outcome is more or less just an eventuality that may happen now or maybe slightly later.
Technically something that is not in your control, but the process is within your control.
Absolutely.
Very
right.
much.
Spot on.
If you had to define process goals, outcome goals, Vishnu, what's your take on that?
So process goals are basically
And fitness per se, if you can talk.
Okay, on fitness per se. Okay. When you set process goals, you are setting people up for success. And when you're setting outcome goals, only outcome goals, you're most likely setting up people for failures. That's what we have normally seen, right? So a process goal is, in a fitness context, is like telling someone to cover 5,000 or 6,000 steps every day through the week.
Right.
And an outcome goal is telling somebody to lose 1 kilogram in a week. Right. An outcome is not in your control, like Ketan said, but covering those 6,000 steps every day is completely in your control. Right.
Right.
So when you give people goals which are totally in their control, they feel empowered. Right. And that also helps them start on a winning streak. You win every day, so that they also feel confident to raise the bar and set bigger process goals, and outcomes naturally come out of it when you comply to processes.
Interesting, man.
Taking up from there is basically, the thing is, the reason why outcomes aren't controllable is that because there are 100 different variables at play, right?
Absolutely.
Now, and what you can only do is a set process that is established, that you know that the right things to do along that path to actually get there.
Right.
That is in your control. You can figure out when you'd like to do it, what time you'd like to do it, how you'd like to put in those 6,000 steps, and so on and so forth, right? So as a result of which, the process becomes something that sort of trumps the outcome goal, in a manner of speaking.
Right.
Only because, you can't always win and get that outcome. Like, imagine if you want to think about buying a very expensive car, and you save up some money to buy that car.
Let's add numbers to this, because that it gets easier. Because I think you're the numbers man. So let's go for, say, car. Let me change the question here a little bit. Okay. I feel there is a problem with outcome goals. I'll tell you why. Because and I'm with you on this. Because like you mentioned, there are a lot of things that will change. I want to buy a house, say 1 crore. Now I'm working towards that outcome. Okay, I'm putting in the necessary steps, processes. But the outcome is that 1 crore ka ghar which I want. There are a lot of things that are not in my control. There is the market, real estate, my job security, health to a certain extent. Yes, I do have it within my control. But again, not everything is my control. Now, if I have an outcome goal, I personally feel that I am delaying my happiness because a lot of us, including me, we associate our wins with our happiness, our achievement with our happiness. So I know for a fact that if I don't make it through that 1 crore house, or if I don't achieve that, it's going to bother me somewhere. Now, I've given an example of a house.
Yeah.
But there are small things. Yeah, not even house is a very big example.
Yeah.
But I know each and every one of us,
Yeah.
young guns, are working hard to finding that one place where you can call home, where you can create your own house, your own space.
Right.
So add numbers to
So
this.
any meaningful goal, a house in your example is that, right?
But I feel outcome goal still is a problem because of this.
It's not a problem. I think an outcome goal is what you want to eventually achieve.
Correct.
Right? Now, imagine saying, I want to go on holiday, right? And then starting to book tickets, starting to book cabs, starting to, book restaurants for this thing, but not knowing which destination you're actually going on holiday to.
Right.
It's the most ridiculous thought, right?
Yeah.
Now think about the same thing, right? You want to buy a house, you don't know which city, what price, everything, etc. 2 BHK, 3 BHK, 1 BHK,
Right.
whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
That is something you have to define.
Correct.
Because then that will tell you which way to go.
Okay.
If you're going from, if you want to go from Bombay to Bangalore, you can't start driving north. So first you need to know you want to go to Bangalore.
Right.
Yeah.
So therefore you start driving south.
Right.
Right. And therefore then you know what the path is there. You will fuel up your car. You will decide which route to take. Or you say, I'm going to fly. Or I'm going to take a train ticket.
Right.
So the outcome is the first step as to what you need to define as to where do you want to go in the first place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. That is the first thing. Now coming back to your house example, right? You want to buy a 1 crore house. So first, what do you do? You say, okay, this is my end goal. This is my vision board. I'm going to stick it up there. This
Right.
is what I'm going to be driven
Right,
by
right,
morning and night to do it. That's your motivation. That's your higher power that's driving you. That's the fuel, right? Then you come down to say, okay, now how am I going to get there? What do I need to do to get there, right? So you say, okay, now let's think a little more scientific. Okay, 1 crore house, I'm going to get 80% loan,
All right.
right? So now how much am I left with? I need to figure out how to get 20 lakhs
Yeah.
of equity. Now, how do I get 20 lakhs of equity? What's my disposable income, right? How much can I take out after expense and save towards that every single month? Say you can save 1 lakh a month, assuming, right? Now, how many months would you need to take?
20.
20 months.
Yeah.
So that's a little under 2 years,
Yeah.
right? So now you start putting that 1 lakh away post taxes into a separate account that you will keep only to buy that 1 crore house.
Yeah.
It'll take you 20 months to get there, a little under 2 years. And finally, after that, you can say, okay, now you've identified the location, you've identified the thing, gone and negotiated. Now you have the money to do it. So
Right.
now your process meets your outcome. And that's the way to do it.
No, I'm going to change.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing with anything else. You
Right.
want to go and pass a C exam, the bar, you want to get into Harvard, you want to win the Olympic gold, right? That's your North Star.
Right.
And then you start preparing for it and you
Right.
finally go and do it in the right amount of time. Right?
I spoke about people get unhappy, and I have been unhappy if I haven't achieved that outcome goal of mine.
Right.
So I'll rephrase this.
Sure.
Maybe I think we need to obsess a little less on the outcome and the outcome goal. But as human beings, that is tough. It's very difficult, man. I mean, I know I need to go from point A to point B. I know I have to reach there. Now, the steps to be taken will obviously differ. Different people will take different routes, different ways of traveling. Some may just want to walk, some may want to run, some may want to take a speedboat. I don't know. Everybody's different. But I think somewhere we need to stop obsessing over the outcome in that case.
Again, it's different for different people. It comes down to what fuels you, right? And
Right.
if that obsession fuels you to do things, it's great, right? So now, like we have discussed in one of the episodes, I believe, about the deeper whys behind why people
Right.
do things, right?
Right.
For example, we discussed stuff like a person in his 50s wanting to start his fitness journeys because he want to carry his grandkid and walk around or play with the grandkids.
Right, absolutely.
Or someone taking up fitness because they want to play football with their children. That's deeper wise, right? Now, that fuels your processes on a daily basis, then it's good to obsess over it. So these deeper whys actually fuels you to do stuff on days you're least motivated to do stuff.
Right.
You had an extremely long day at work. You finished your work at 9:30. You haven't exercised in the past 2 days also. You want to push in a workout today. What fuels you? Then this is the deeper why that would probably fuel you. So that way it makes sense. But if this outcome goal is something like, let's say, I want to lose 10 kilos in a week, in a month, and if you're obsessing over it and looking at the scale every day, then that can backfire. So it's everything has context, right? So is outcome goals absolutely useless? It is not true. It's not. You cannot make an blanket statement like that. Depends on what is your outcome goal. Like if you are, let's say I am making 50,000 rupees a month, and I am obsessing over buying a 5 crore house, then probably I should not. I should actually set the context and set realistic goals on what I can achieve. Right.
Also, setting goals correctly is very important, I feel, with what you're saying. Be identifying what your current condition is, hoping that if you want more, things will improve, obviously, because we always hope for the best. But also identifying the current scenario in which you are is very essential, I feel.
We see a lot of 12-week transformations on social media, right? And many of these 12-week transformations are people who are already been in shape, in great shape, who got out of shape because of detraining, going off diet, etc., coming back to shape when training, diet, supplements are reintroduced into their system, right? And someone who is absolutely new to exercise, saying that I want to look like that in 12 weeks,
Unrealistic.
that is unrealistic, right?
Because I think somewhere also, because you've been training for so long, there's muscle memory. Your body knows exactly what to do and how it's been.
Correct. So the role of the coach here is to set realistic expectations for people and set process-based goals, basically setting somebody up for success.
Okay.
Right. Setting process-based goals, the basic foundation of that is to setting somebody up for success, setting them up to win. Right. And people progress week over week. The only problem is people do not realize that they are progressing.
Because the outcome is small.
The progress could be small, and they sometimes people get so obsessed with the outcome, they see only a singular progress metric
Or a single metric as success, or the end result.
So let's take this out of context of buying a house or stuff like that.
Right.
So probably I'm not making a lot of money month over month, but I am building my reputation. Let's say I am doing great job. I am delivering great results to my trainees.
Right.
So I am building an equity which is other than money, which could actually propel me to do better job over a period of time, which would help me make more money, which would fuel towards me buying a 1 crore house, like in this context. In a training scenario, probably you're getting stronger, you're getting better at your movements, you are becoming more consistent with your meals. You as somebody who used to drink every day, your alcohol content has come down. Probably didn't reflect on your weighing scale straight away after a week, but this will have a snowball effect. After a month, you will suddenly see the change. Right, you see that flip. So the role of the coach is to constantly make sure that the trainee gets to know that there is progress, and this will have a snowball effect. Right.
Nice. And speaking about trainees, how do you set up process-based goals when it comes to trainees per se? How do you do that?
It depends. Again. So for some people we set weekly goals. Some people we keep fortnightly goals, right? So like I said earlier, somebody who's absolutely not moving at all, we may set up a goal like cover 5,000 steps every day.
Right.
Somebody who's already walking well, we set a step goal of 12,000 steps a day, so that it is achievable for them. And our job is to set something that is achievable for them and make sure that they hit it.
Right.
So it's very, very individualistic. There is no strict set pattern as to how you set goals for people. We look at where they are at this current state or when they meet us, and then we build it up from there. That's how
it's slowly, steadily built, step by step.
Yes.
Ketan, I think every individual is differently motivated, and I always say this in almost every episode that people are different when it comes to their motivation levels. We in fact spoke about this in our previous episodes also, that motivation can get you only to a certain place.
Yeah.
after that, you're going to burn out. You're going to have a certain amount of boredom. It's going to be mundane. It's going to be monotonous, whether it is life, whether it is gym, whether it is anything that you're trying to bring about in your life, a change basically. So hence, loving the process is important. But sometimes the process is not a very joyful process in terms of fitness also.
Yeah.
You are telling me to step out of my comfort zone, first of all, and get out there and lift those weights or, cut down something that I like. It's hard, man. It's really hard.
It is. The idea is that there should be a basic level of want, desire, of something, which will tell you that, okay, I'm willing to put in at least a bare minimum amount of work to be able to start off, right? Like Vishnu said, it's what fuels you, and also that where are you at in your journey,
Right?
And how much time are you willing to put in, how much effort are you willing to put in at this point of time,
Right.
So having that basic work ethic of saying, I'm going to be hardworking, I will put in the required effort towards that goal, I will do what it takes to a certain degree, and then keep elevating slow. That'll help you along the process. So that enables you to win at every stage rather than setting yourself up for failure, right? So outcome goals, what happens is that every outcome, and we know this in school, sabko first rank chahiye. Everybody, you want to get into Harvard, right? Companies want to beat all their competition. They make Excel plans that are outlandish, right? No Excel plan ever comes true. Ever.
No Excel plan ever excels.
Yeah. So what happens if you're only using that barometer of that plan or outcome? Then every single time you do any task, you're going to fail, 100%, right? Unless you keep an extremely low bar, wherein a guy who's doing say 5,000 steps is given a 4,000 step goal, where he's already doing it. So now you're maybe a 6,000, and it's not stretch goal for him to actually evolve and become stronger, become more active, or whatever. Right. So that is where the entire thing comes into play. Now,
I'm talking about business per se.
No, I'm coming. That's what I'm bringing my point there now.
Right.
Now, think about the process goals, right? The process is a set method of doing things which has been given to you by an expert or by your parents or by you yourself through experience. This is what it takes to get there, right? And as we grow, as we're in a corporate environment, because you said in business, at work, etc., it's more and more important, right?
Right.
Why is it more important? Now think about when we grow up. You're leaving a controlled environment and a finite environment wherein you're leaving your parents' home, you're staying on your own. You have to manage everything.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You are in school, which has marks and certain questions, certain syllabus. Here, what happens? Everything's out of syllabus. You have no idea, right? What happens in the real world? Think about sports. There are two teams, and you'll fight. They have set rules of the sport, and one team will win. Here, there are multiple players propping up every single day. The market is changing. Right?
Absolutely.
Everything is happening. You have no control over any factor. So what can you control? Now you can't control the outcome. No chance. From 100 variables, it went to 1 million variables.
Yeah.
Right.
So now what can you control?
The process.
The only thing that you can control is the process.
Your
You
next
say,
step.
listen, your next step, and next step. So what you can control is what you need to focus on. And if, like in our previous episode, you spoke about compounding those wins through the day, if you're able to simply say, okay, you know what, this is the next step. Logically, a prudent human being would do this next, and I do that, then I feel like, oh my God, okay, I feel fulfilled, I feel good about myself. And then what's next? Okay, what's next step? Okay, step C, step D, and so on and so forth, right? So only thing that can actually be controlled, that can actually be even being done, right, in a productive manner is the process. That's what my thought about it.
But I liked how you, spoke about the business aspect of process versus outcome goals. But when it comes to fitness, Vishnu, fitness, the journey is very slow.
Yeah.
Like anything
Yeah.
else. Transformations are slow. They take time. Everything good in life, basically. Let's just state that everything great and everything awesome in life takes time. But we're into the 10-day bodies, 15-day bodies. I have been also equally party to this. I've wanted the 10-day body, the 15-day body, the 21-day six-pack abs, and it's good. It's good motivation to begin and all that. But the process is slow. The time taken is longer.
Yeah.
And a lot of people get bogged down, especially because of social media. Because every time you open social media, and I'm not saying it's bad, it's the greatest thing that has happened to mankind, but it also has its own negatives. The moment you scroll through social media, the first thing you know is that somebody's got a great body, and you're like, I'm never going to achieve this body. What's the point? Chuck it. I'm okay being where I am. Social media can put you down.
Yeah.
and so can the expectations.
Yeah. So you should not be bogged down by what you see on social media, because if you are to start comparing like that, there is no end to comparisons, right?
Right.
Even if you get into the kind of body type or body shape that you want to be, you will not be happy. There will always be something better to look up to, right?
Right.
So yeah, setting expectations right is very important, and setting expectations right based on your current circumstances in terms of lifestyle, work, what you can manage to do is also very important.
Okay.
And that is usually where coaching comes into picture, right? It helps you set the right goals. Let's say you may come and say, I want to be in certain shape in 12 weeks.
Right.
That may require you to also put on muscle, not just lose fat.
Right.
And putting on muscle is a long-term process.
Right.
And that will require you to put in so much amount of work.
Absolutely.
Right. And coaching also will help you set expectation around the amount of work you need to put in to be there.
Right.
So if you are motivated enough and you see, like you said, if you or you get inspired by what you have seen on a social media post and you want to be like that, then why not put in that work and get there, right? And
Right.
that's exactly what coaching does. Yeah.
But I also feel that everything requires time and patience, right? I mean,
Yeah. It requires a lot of time and patience. So anything good in life requires time and patience, right?
That's something that, I've heard and I've experienced for myself. And I've heard a couple of people say this, time will take care of it, my son, time will heal. And I'm like, time hi to nahi hai, patience hi to nahi hai. And I mean, this is a statement I've time and again heard. And when I've experienced for myself that time actually heals, you have to persist long enough.
Yeah.
It's not always the most hardworking person, but I feel it's the person who has persisted hard enough who has actually, come out victorious or won the race or whatever they've chosen to win or whatever they want to be a part of. So you've got to persist long enough. But to be honest, I think people are also scared of outcomes and the processes. You don't want to take the next step only. You're like, chuck it. I don't want it. I'm not interested. I feel the first step is always the hardest. But when you take that leap of faith, life just turns.
Yeah. So I think, in this generation and time of age, everything is instant.
Right.
From 2-day delivery to 2-hour delivery to now 10 minutes delivery.
To also 1-hour relationships.
Everything, right? You spoke
Swipe.
about 10 and 15-day bodies and so many things, right?
Right,
Everything
right.
is here and now.
Right.
And people just want to get that simple hack, that simple step plan to get to wherever. I mean, there is no step plan, unfortunately.
In fact, Tim Grover spoke about this in one of
Yeah.
his videos, saying that everybody's Googling the
10
fastest
steps.
way, 10 steps to success, 15 steps to success.
Yeah, there is no 10 steps to success. There's an infinite number of steps to success, because everybody's success and definition of success in the first place is different. How much of that time they're willing to give is different. Where they start from is different. Their work ethic, is different. In the last episode, we spoke about hustle culture. Some people live 7 days a week and hustle, right?
I function in chaos. I love it.
It's there, and people thrive with it. So the idea is that all of these factors being factors will never result in 10 concrete steps. But what's important is that a lot of us give up on who we could be just by dreading those 10 steps, right? Even if you're told like, that's all you need to do, let's keep getting from there, and they start dreading it and they start procrastinating and saying, I'm going to research on this, I'm going to figure it out. When I get a little fitter, then I will join your plan. When I get a little more this thing, I'll take up that course, and so on and so forth. So they actually push back their future dream selves because they're scared of the whole process and unwilling to even take that first step. But think about this. Who would do better push-ups? Okay, a person who tries to do push-ups every day, or somebody who's watching YouTube videos about push-ups?
Somebody is doing it every day, putting
Right.
in the work every day. And
It
also
was a
takes-
rhetorical question. Okay,
I was so involved with what you're saying.
Yeah.
I got so involved.
I know. But think about who would be a better swimmer. Okay, somebody pussyfooting around the water and thinking about it, watching something. What are the perils? What if I drown? What will happen, etc. And worrying about that. Or somebody just going to at least something which is 4 feet deep and trying.
Right.
If you research, it's good. up to a certain level, but the best experience that you will ever go and the best learning that you will do and therefore earning after that will all happen if you just put in the work.
Yeah.
And you
if
do it.
Yeah, and each step, and this is the secret, this is the hack. Okay, each step lights up the next one.
Yeah.
Because that will just form logically, because now that step could be A, B, C, D, E, and therefore now what step you actually took will light up another 5 steps that you will decide it's prudent for you. Somebody else might decide it's prudent, some other step is prudent for them to do it, and so on and so forth, right? Because human mind at the end of the day. And how we choose our steps are also very different. So at every step, if you choose one step, that next step or the next 4 options open up to you, right? And that's how I think you've got to view it through that lens.
Also about fear, Ketan just mentioned a very interesting point about how sometimes we are afraid of the next 10 steps to be taken or the next 2 steps to be taken. We had a very interesting episode with Monica Mascarenhas, who was a success coach, and she spoke about this very interesting aspect in life where fact and story. The fact is you have to put in the work. The story is what you're creating.
Yeah.
I will go through this and I will go through that. And our definition of us is so strong. We don't want to let go of who we are. And that sometimes, in fact, I won't generalize it, but yeah, sometimes is a problem because this does
It's limiting.
Not, it
Yeah.
limits
limiting,
you. It
yeah.
doesn't allow you to grow. But guys, we're talking about structure. We're talking about goals. We're talking about outcomes. What if you have no goals? What if you don't know what you want? Then what?
I think everybody wants something, for sure. It may not be as outlandish or as ambitious or as hungry and as driven, but everybody wants something. So I think they should start working towards that, right?
Right.
Everybody in a fitness journey doesn't want 6 packs. They want to lose 3 kgs. Start with that, win that. Then they might want something more, and so on and so forth, right? It's just like how we started Alpha Coach, honestly. I didn't know in 2015 that I was going to leave my financial services job and be doing fitness full time. I didn't know this back in early 2020 before COVID hit. I didn't know this even in 2021 that I'm actually going to quit it and go full time into this, right? I didn't know it. But all of those things, but here's what I did.
Vishnu has something. We'll
No,
come
but
to that.
yeah, we
No,
will.
you told me that you'll quit.
I did. I said I may, but I didn't know I'm going to do it. But the thing is, in 2016, okay, I want to do something in fitness. So I started a gym.
Right.
It was a side hustle. I did something. I didn't leave my job.
Right,
I didn't do
right,
anything
right.
crazy. I spent 2 hours, 3 hours doing that thing. And that gave me the first stepping stone to thinking about doing this full time, right?
Yeah.
I said, okay, I love this thing. I've tried it. I've dabbled in it.
Right.
I'm excited by it.
Tested waters.
Tested waters, right? I did something in it. I didn't just research about the gym business.
Right.
I actually put in money, invested my time, money, effort, all of that stuff, right? And that is what then propelled me to say, okay, you know what? I think I can do a much larger play, something I can go out, actually
Right.
do a lot more. And that's how Alpha Coach happened. If I had just been thinking about it, I've been sitting right
Yeah.
there.
We wouldn't be having this.
This wouldn't have existed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Vishnu has this trait, right? Whoever he works with, they tend to quit their jobs.
Yeah, we discussed this
yeah.
last time.
We
Yeah.
discussed this. Vishnu has a superpower. They say, okay, we're quitting. We're going to be invested in the business full time. But guys, we're talking about corporates. We're talking about the training programs. You said Alpha Coach wouldn't have happened and all of that. But you guys have moved to another level now. I believe this, that any kind of startup or any kind of business, this is my personal belief system, should impact society in a certain way and should bring about a change. And you guys are doing that via enriching people's lives through fitness, helping them increase their productivity, and in turn, just win-win situation. Human beings want to win all the time, and not crazily win all the time, but you just like the little wins.
Yeah.
So you guys are doing that. Tell us about the corporate program that you guys are doing.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, our mission, as we like to call it, is to improve the health and fitness of 100 million Indians, right?
Right.
Who would be benefiting from improving their lives and lifestyles and health. Now, a big part of that is corporate India, right?
Yeah.
And how we're going about it is that we're going to corporates and telling them that, just like what we do on the retail side with Alpha Coach,
Right.
how about signing up your employees on a very simple program just like that? It's an absolute, completely personalized coaching that happens. The coaching remains exactly the same.
Right. Yeah.
Having said that, we add an element of engagement, euphoria, excitement, competition, you name it, to that by adding a bunch of leaderboards and scoreboards and so on and so forth. So people can actually have teams, they can compete, they can actually do that. But none of that is done on absolute data. It's done on comparative data so that, they're not judged for how many kgs they've lost or how many steps they've done, but more on the work they're doing. So the process that we spoke about they're judged on that. Rather, they're scored on that basis.
So you're basically rewarding their work and not their outcome. This is amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So basically, we are making personalized one-to-one coaching accessible and
Right.
fun for corporate. So, like we discussed earlier, most of the programs are not built keeping in mind people's busy lifestyles in the back of the mind.
Right.
So the program here is built for them, right? And we delivered great results to a lot of these busy folks who are training with us. Now going to corporates, the idea is to make it more accessible, still make it very, very personalized,
Right.
one-to-one, and fun.
And doable, yeah,
And
because-
doable and fun. I mean, so it has to be
Yeah.
some sort of engaging aspect to it as well. I
Absolutely.
mean, that the community feel in fitness is something that propels people to do things consistently as well. A lot of people get, fueled by that. Your friends doing it, being part of a team, and working towards a singular goal, like
Right.
hitting so many points in a month, kind of
Right.
thing. So that's what we have built with Corporate.
I think through this entire conversation, what I understand is that process goals and your outcome goals both need to coexist.
Yeah.
You can't have one existing, one important, and the other less important. What do you think, Vishnu?
Yeah, that's true. So, like we discussed in the beginning, right? Some outcome goals will drive your processes in the sense, a deeper why behind why you're doing it. Like we said, you need to know, you need to have a clarity on what you're doing and why you're doing it, right? So that fuels your process. That helps you kind of be consistent with your process. So it's not that you should not have any outcome goals.
Right.
Both needs to coexist. But what we see normally is people get so obsessed by the outcome goals, they tend to not see the process at all. Like let's say if you see an ad saying you lose 10 kilograms in a month, join the program, that's a red flag, right? Now versus somebody is saying that you get to exercise every day for the next 30 days.
Right.
And the outcome will be you getting fitter, stronger, and at the end of the day, you will also end up losing certain percentage of your body weight. That becomes a little bit more of a structured, authentic outcome goals as well as process goals, right?
Right.
So now there are this what do you call it? This retreats
Right.
where they promise big weight loss.
Right.
And how do they do it? You go there, you put you on pure juice, salads, diets, kind of
Right.
thing. There's no process in it, right? It's you've been putting on extreme.
But then
plan.
that is also shocking your body, right? That's
It's deprivation,
It's
honestly.
deprivation. I don't know whether shocking. It's just depriving you of calories. You drop weight and you come back. You put on the weight, right?
deficit, and suddenly you're going back to your normal life.
You're going back to your normal life, right?
So what I also understand is it's very important to function in an environment of chaos because your normal life is anyways in chaos. So your fitness has to also be, your program has to be built around this chaos. It's not going to be the other way.
So it's interesting, quite unrelated. Buddha has a statement like meditation should happen in marketplace. Right? It's meditation doesn't mean you go and sit in silence and do it. It has to happen in marketplace, and that's when you're and that doesn't mean you have to give up everything, right? Same thing over here, right? So you have to build in these processes around your lifestyle. You cannot kind of give away everything and do only fitness.
Right.
Yeah, there are no perfect conditions. They don't exist.
Right.
There
And they will
you
never
can-
exist.
Yeah. So you have to take something away for something else to come in, right? So if you are building in an hour of training, taking out 30 minutes to think about what food you're going to eat, order the right things, cook the right things, you will be letting go of something else. So now what happens is that you're letting go of things that probably don't push you towards your goal in fitness or anything else. And and build this, right?
Right.
And similar thing is that now when you're in a corporate job, when you're in this thing, in a busy environment, you now start getting allergic to all the BS, which is wasting your time. You start becoming a lot more structured. You start having discipline. Yeah. And all of that put together, gives you like, oh my God, I can achieve so much just by building this so well. Mm-hmm. You've got more confidence, everything just increases for the better, right? So in a nutshell, I mean, dreams are, in a corporate environment, dreams are the company's mission, purpose, vision.
Right.
But बाद में काम तो करना है.
काम तो करना
You can't
है
be
यार.
thinking vision है, right?
You have to work.
Exactly. So that is definitely the thing that you need to think about. You need to know where you want to go. Then you just about doing the work to get there.
You definitely have to put in the work. I mean, there is one blanket rule. You can wish for many things. It's beautiful to wish for many things, but if you want them to happen for you, you've got to work. You've got to put in the work. You've got to enjoy the process. And I think Ketan and Vishnu have stood the test of time. They have managed to enjoy the process. The two stallions over here who run Alpha Coach, who are trying to change people's lives. So once again, congratulations on that. But would you like to end this on a very Gyani note for us?
I think it's a simple thing. You obviously need to have an outcome goal.
Right.
Then you trust the process. You believe in the process. Do the process.
Right.
And then know that the process is like an echo, right? Because when you do the process one time, you'll get 3 times the sort of return, right? Through that. And that is the important part. Everything that you do always comes back with more. So if you worry, there'll be a lot more worry coming in. You do good work, good vibes and good stuff will come to you. And that's really how I really view it.
I think we should end this on that note. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is the Alpha Coach podcast. We will be back with more episodes, lots more. Ketan, Vishnu, and your host Glenn. We're signing off.